Shri Gurave Namaha. Oh, Narayan. Okay. So we today being Wednesday. I think is it Wednesday? Wednesday 18. Wednesday 18. Yes. So we discuss some Sugama. In Sugama 57th point we were discussing. In that, Adhyasa is Anadi Ananta. We were talking of how Adhyasa is Anadi Ananta. Okay. How Adhyasa is Anadi Ananta. So, I just review what I told yesterday. Nanu mithya pratyaya matrasya adhyasasya katham anaditvam anantavatvam va. How can a wrong notion, how can Adhyasa, which is only a wrong notion, can be beginningless and endless? See, for this, he gives an argument based upon life's experience, an experience in life, like Shukti Rajatadi Pratyayanam. The wrong notions like silver in seashell, wrong notions like silver in seashell or snake upon the rope, these wrong notions, adhyasanam saditvam antavatvam cha drishtam, they have been found to be having a beginning and having an end, sadi and antavatvam. So, when we have a certain instances of our life, instances of wrong notions in our life, which have a beginning and ending, how can you say this Atmadhyasa, which is also a wrong notion? How can this Atmadhyasa, which is also a wrong notion, similar to the worldly events of misunderstandings? Worldly events of misunderstandings. So, this Adhyasa is similar to the worldly events of misunderstandings. Therefore, just as those misunderstandings, those wrong notions have a beginning and ending, this also must have a beginning and ending. See, this is his question. To this, we have answered already. I just repeat it. He says, Naisha doshaha. There is nothing wrong in calling it beginningless, endless, because your example doesn't suit here. Because Shuktyadivir Indriya Samprayogajam Jnanam Kadachitkam Eveti Yuktam. Here, very good point. The worldly notions, means worldly notions are a given event in life. Those notions are born because those objects are perceived by sense organs. Those objects are perceived by sense organs. Therefore, he says, Shuktyadibihi Indriya Sanyogajam Jnanam Kadachit Kameveti. Because those objects in life, objects within the waking state, let us say, objects within the waking states are perceptible through sense organs. So, those objects have a beginning and ending in life. Therefore, in those cases, the wrong notion or misunderstanding being Sadi and Santa is not at all a problem. Okay. But here, this Adhyasa Vishaya. There, the Adhyasa Vishaya means the Vastu regarding which we have a wrong notion, like rope, etc. Those objects which can be perceived by sense organs, they begin. But here, Atma is not perceptible through sense organs and mind. Here he says, Yuktam tatra adhyasas pratyayasyapi kadachit katvam iha punaha ahamanubhavasya pratyak chaitanyabhasa matratvat anaditaiva yukta. Here, ahamanubhava. This aham anubhava means the I notion. This I notion is only an abhasa, semblance of Atma. Semblance of Atma means Atma bhasa. It is a Sakshi's abhasa is aham patyaya. Sakshi abhasa means it is a semblance of Atma. It is not perceived through sense organs. Therefore, you can't compare it with them. Okay, Swamiji said only this much, but we'll say little more. The worldly objects, the worldly events, the worldly objects about which you could misunderstand, like a rope, those objects themselves have a beginning in life. Because no object in the waking state, no object in the world is all pervasive. Because every object is located in a given place. Therefore, to perceive, its perception begins only when you go to the place. When you go away from it, the perception ends. Because those objects are not all pervasive. That means the very objects are located in time, in place, they are not all pervasive. Since the very object of Adhyasa, or the, the substratum of Adhyasa, the Adhisthana of Adhyasa, the very substratum of Adhyasa, like rope, has a beginning in space. Therefore, Adhyasa, their misunderstanding also can begin. Then another thing is, they begin in time. The rope begins in time. Rope is not eternal. Rope begins in time and also gets destroyed in time. Since the objects like rope begin in time and end in time, their Adhyasa, misunderstanding them for snake and others, those misunderstandings also can have beginning and ending. So it is natural regarding the worldly objects. Swamiji says that. But here I tell you, even in the worldly objects, there is no beginning, because the object may begin, but when you come to see the rope, you see that it is already snake. You don't see first rope for a while and the next moment you start seeing the snake. It's not like that. When you see the rope, in the starting itself you start seeing as a snake. As you start seeing the rope, then itself you start seeing as a snake, because the perception of the rope as a snake doesn't begin. You start seeing it as a snake only. Therefore, even the worldly instances of Adhyasa are also beginningless. Even the worldly instances of Adhyasa are also beginningless. But anyway, we can give another way we can look at it. They begin with sense organs. So they are likely to begin because the sense contact begins. Sense contact begins. Where sense organs are used, where the time and place are involved, the very Adhisthana of wrong notions have a beginning. But here Atma doesn't begin. Atma is neither located in time nor located in place, nor its contact with sense organ begins, nor its contact with mind begins. So, Atma's Anubhava doesn't begin in time, in place, or Atma comes to be known through sense organs. And mind is also sense organ anyway. Just for sake of clarification, we use mind. Otherwise, mind is also sense organ. So, its contact with mind doesn't begin because there is no contact. Sense organs and mind have no contact with the Atma because they don't perceive the Atma. Therefore, when the sense organs and mind come in contact with Atma, then the contact would have begun. But the sense organs and mind don't come in contact with Atma. As they come in contact with regards to the external objects, mind and sense organs come in contact with external objects like rope. Therefore, this contact begins. Therefore, Adhyasa could begin. But here, sense organs and mind don't come in contact with Atma because Atma is not available for the perception of sense organs and mind. Neither mind can see nor the sense organs can perceive Atma. Therefore, the contact of the sense organs with Sakshi doesn't begin, doesn't end, because sense organs don't exist from the standpoint of Atma. Then what? The Aham thought, the I notion, is only an Abhasa, a wrong appearance of the Sakshi. So, as the Sakshi is beginningless, so its wrong notion will be beginningless. See, as a Sakshi, just as the snake is as beginningless as the rope. Because our snake is as much as rope, let us say. Snake is as much as the rope. Similarly, I notion is as much as the Sakshi. Sakshi is beginningless, I notion is also beginningless. Because your perception of Sakshi doesn't begin. Sakshi is always there. You don't know when does the Sakshi begin, because Sakshi has no beginning. The idea of beginning comes in time. The time itself is within waking state. The state itself is Adhyasa within the Atma. Therefore, the I notion doesn't begin whenever there is Sakshi. That means doesn't begin means, what does it mean? Beginningless means whenever you look at yourself, you find that there is I notion. Whenever you look at yourself, you find there is an I notion. Beginningless, it is beginningless. Therefore, Aham Adhyasa is beginningless and endless also. Because who will see the ending of the I notion? Does Sakshi see? For Sakshi, there is no I notion at all. When there is no beginning, there can't be ending. Because Sakshi doesn't experience the I notion. Since Sakshi doesn't experience the I notion, it doesn't experience its ending also. So, from the standpoint of I notion, I notion doesn't end. Because I notion can't perceive its own ending. I notion cannot perceive its own ending, its own beginning. Therefore, I notion cannot see its beginning and ending. From the standpoint of Sakshi, I notion has never been there. Where is the question of ending? I notion never exists apart from Sakshi. Therefore, there is no question of ending. See, we talk of ending assuming that there is an I notion. So that ending implies the assumption of I notion. Otherwise, I notion itself doesn't exist. No question of ending. See, ending is different from non-existent. What doesn't exist doesn't begin or end. What doesn't exist neither begins nor ends. Can you say what doesn't exist either begins or ends? That itself doesn't exist. Where is the question of beginning and ending? I notion doesn't exist for the Sakshi. So therefore, there is no question of beginning and ending. Therefore, Sakshi doesn't see beginning and ending of I notion. I notion also cannot see beginning and ending of I notion. See, either way. I notion itself can't see beginning and ending. See, or take an example of a dream. You are a dream person within the dream state experiencing the dream world. The dream person, the dream ego, the dream individuality which is present in dream state experiencing the dream world, does it ever see the dream individuality beginning? No way. Dream individuality beginning, dream individual can't see. Ego means individuality, I notion. The dream individuality, dream ego, dream I notion can't see. It cannot see its ending also. How can it see its own ending? It can't see. Okay. Then come to the Sakshi. From the Sakshi level, the very dream state doesn't exist. Now, do you say dream state ended? You don't say dream state ended. Dream never existed. You don't put an end when you look at the dream from the standpoint of Sakshi. From the standpoint of the Sakshi of the entire dream state, you are the Sakshi for which there is no dream state. You come to understand there were never a dream state for me. I have never been a dream individual, I as a Sakshi. I as a pure consciousness never assumed my dream individuality. Therefore, dream individuality or dream state never existed for Sakshi. You don't say dream state ended. Dream state ended means what? The dreaming should end. Dreaming is a process. Does that process ever end? It can never end. If you are seeing the process, it will go on endlessly. From the Sakshi, the dream itself doesn't exist. No question of ending. So it is not ending. It doesn't exist. It doesn't cease to exist. It never existed. You come to realize it never existed. See the difference. Neither dream existed nor it came to an end. It never existed apart from me. I alone am. Similarly, the entire waking state along with waking individuality never existed apart from Sakshi. It doesn't come to an end because it never existed. No question of coming to an end. Neither existed nor comes to an end. There is only Sakshi. All but nothing but Sakshi. There is only pure consciousness, nothing but consciousness. Therefore, there is no question of ending. So that ending itself is another Adhyaropa. That dream ends is a way of interpreting. Adhyaropa means what? For the Sakshi, the dream doesn't exist. Neither it existed nor it comes to an end. Yet we say that dream comes to an end. We say because that is only a way of interpretation. From the standpoint of Sakshi, dream never existed. So assuming the dream, we say it comes to an end. You wake up from dream and dream comes to an end. Dream ceases to exist. So dream ceases to exist, dream comes to an end. These are way of interpretations. These are way of explanations based upon your natural experience of non-dual consciousness. The consciousness which is always non-dual, keeping that in view, you say that dream comes to an end. That dream comes to an end is a way of explaining. It is a way of interpreting. But if you look at your Anubhava, dream never existed. There is no question of coming to an end. So that dream never existed. I alone remain as consciousness is my experience. So this experience we are interpreting as the ending of. We are interpreting as ending of dream. See, space is beginningless and endless, isn't it? Space is, but now you see, we can interpret it this way, hand has come. Now when I remove the hand, I see the space. So the space means shapeless, formless, shapeless. The formless space was not visible when I was seeing the hand. When I am seeing the hand, my attention gets attracted to the form of the hand, so it looks that I am not paying attention to the space. When I remove the hand, oh, now I can see there is a formless space. When you see the formless space, do you say formless space begins? It doesn't begin, it has been there. Only you interpret the ending of the hand as a beginning of the space. You interpret it from the standpoint of the hand, you impose it and say that the hand ended and the space has begun. Hand ended and the space has begun. So the beginning of the space is an imposition. It is a way of interpretation. Itself, space has been there. There is no question of beginning. Similarly, Sakshi neither begins nor ends. Sakshi doesn't arrive as a result of ending of dream state or waking state. So, Sakshi doesn't begin as a result of ending of waking state. Sakshi doesn't begin as a result of ending of dream state. So, Sakshi is independently non-dual, independent and himself is beginningless and endless. Sakshi is not a result of ending of dream or ending of deep sleep. Looking at the Sakshi as beginningless and endless, we interpret it as the ending of dream, ending of waking state. That means You assume the state, and then seeing that state is absent, you interpret it as an ending of the state. Is Sakshi. You interpret. So this interpretation is an alien one, is an imposed one. Therefore, we call it as Adhyaropa. It is an Adhyaropa. Otherwise, the Sakshi itself is ever non-dual. Therefore, no question of beginning or ending. Neither Sakshi begins nor waking state, dream state ends. From the standpoint of Sakshi, waking state, dream state doesn't end because there is no waking and dream state at all. But we interpret it as an ending of a waking state or dream state because by assuming the waking state, you talk of its ending in Sakshi. By assuming the dream state, you talk of its ending in Sakshi. But in Sakshi, it never existed. Where is the question of ending? See the difference. From the standpoint of Sakshi, in the Anubhava of Sakshi, dream state never existed. Waking state never existed. Okay. I don't know why I'm feeling sleepy. Is it my medicine? Sometimes medicines create problems. Okay. Now this point is beginningless, endless is clear. Adhyasa, from the standpoint of Adhyasa, the I notion, from the standpoint of I notion, you can't see the beginning. Because to see the beginning, you require time. But it doesn't, I notion doesn't occur in time. Time is experienced along with I notion. I notion and time are simultaneous. I notion and time are simultaneous. Therefore, I notion and time are simultaneous. You don't know which is beginning, which is before, which is later. The I notion and time both are one. Therefore, time and space are synonymous with I notion. Therefore, you can't see the beginning and ending of I notion. From the standpoint of Sakshi, that is deep sleep, I notion never existed. Adhyasa never existed. Therefore, no question of ending. Now, how can you see the beginning and ending? Shankara's teaching is amazing. You see how Shankaracharya has understood it. And Swamiji's further clarification of it. Swamiji's clarification is also much more. Shankaracharya is very brief and Swamiji sufficiently elaborates. Makes it very, very clear. See, this Sugama is an amazing book. Anyway, this I have been telling. You don't have to see. You don't have to go by my words. You see for yourself. Is Sugama is amazing or not? Okay, then coming to the next. Then go to the next point. Nacha samyajnanasyapi pratyagava satvat satyamityajnanayor aikya prasangaha iti shankyam. Now that anadi point is over, but in the wake of Anuprasakti, we call it. Prasakti. Prasaktanu-prasakti. In the wake of this Anadi Pratyaya, I notion is discussed as Anadi because it is an Abhasa. It is a semblance of Atma. I notion is a semblance. Semblance means it's a reflection. It is a semblance. It is like a reflection in the mirror. It is a semblance of Atma, I notion. When it was told that I notion is a semblance of Atma, and another doubt arises, based upon another doubt arises regarding the semblance of Atma. I notion being a semblance of Atma, regarding this a doubt arises. In fact, that beginningless, endless point is gone. That point we have finished. But in the wake of that, in the context of discussing Anadi, Ananta, Anaditvam of Adhyasa, in the context of discussing Anaditvam of Adhyasa, this point comes for discussion. This is another point. Another point is not the direct topic, but while discussing the one, the other also becomes relevant. Relevant to the context, not the directly contextual topic, but rises in the wake of the context. When we are dealing with the context, a slightly related topic comes there. Related. It is not directly context, but something related to context. We call it anuprasakti, not prasakti. Prasaktasyanuprasakti. In Sanskrit, we call it anuprasakti. Prasanga is the main topic. Anuprasanga means while discussing the topic, in the wake of it, and another related one to something related to it, not totally unrelated. It is related to the relevant present topic, current topic. What is related to the current topic is called anuprasakti. Okay. Therefore, this anuprasangaha, prasange anuprasanga topic, prasaktanuprasaktaha, Swamiji uses this expression. Sometimes Shankaracharya also uses. But so prasaktanuprasaktaha, like this in his Mandukya Rahasya Vivriti, Mula Vidyani Rasa, in many other places he uses this expression. Prasaktanuprasaktaha. That means a topic related to the current one. Not the current alone, something little different but related to it. Different from the current topic, yet related to the current topic is called anuprasakti. Okay, now good. So this anuprasakti topic is nacha samyak. These points I am explaining because I have got all kinds of listeners. Not all are sharp like you. So some people just once telling is enough. Telling once is enough. For certain other people I have to repeat. So have some patience. Once you understand, just be relaxed. I repeat it for sake of others, those who need a repetition to be able to understand. Okay, certain points for sake of others. Those who understand in one stroke, it looks boring for you, repetition, but just have patience. When I again raise the another argument, then you can listen. Once I raise the argument, explain the argument, then I repeat it. While repeating, you will be relaxed. You can just ignore. It is meant for others. Those who need repetition for understanding, it's meant for others. Because for sharp people, repetition bores. Some of the students here, they feel bored. What is this? You are repeating too much. They feel bored it. So so you need to have a patience, because I have got all kinds of students. I have to address them also. It is really persecuting in a way, but you need to have patience and also forgive me. But I have to address everybody. Okay, nacha samyak jnanasyapi pratyagabhasatvat satyamithya jnanayor aikya prasangaha iti shankyam. Now in the wake of that main topic, current topic, another related topic has arisen. What is that? I notion being a semblance of Atma, Abhasa. I notion, there is a Mithya Jnanam, the Mithya Pratyaya, wrong notion is a semblance of Atma. Consciousness is main. And the I notion looks like a consciousness. See, it is not directly consciousness, but it looks like a reflection of consciousness. I notion has a similarity of consciousness, semblance of consciousness, but it is a notion. See the difference. I notion is a notion, but has a similarity of consciousness, isn't it? It is notion, not pure consciousness. But though it is a notion, it looks like consciousness alone, because it is so close to consciousness. So close to consciousness. Like any reflection in a mirror, you see any book, pen gets reflected in the mirror. Or you see, I can see in that cell phone. It is a pen, then also, there also it looks exactly like a pen. But it is not pen, it is only a thought. It is only a reflection, it is not pen. It is a reflection of pen, looks exactly like a pen, but it is not real pen. Because that reflection appearing in the cell phone, I can't use it and write it. This I can hold it and write, that I can't hold it. When I touch that surface of cell phone like this, when I touch this cell phone surface, what happens? I can only feel the glass, I can't feel the pen. I can't feel the pen, I can only feel the glass. But it appears like pen. it is not pen. Similarly, I notion is nothing but another form of consciousness. It looks exactly like consciousness, but it is not. That is the strangeness of it. It looks like consciousness. It is a mithya pratyaya, a wrong notion. But if it is wrong, if the wrong notion is similar to consciousness, almost like consciousness, then problem what happened? If I notion is also consciousness, Atma Sakshi is also consciousness, then it will become equal to consciousness. Then what happens? I notion becomes real. This is the argument Swamiji touches. See, samyajnanasyapi pratyajnana abhasatvat Mithyajnanayor Aikya Prasangaha, slightly different. Swamiji is touching. So, wrong notion is a semblance of consciousness. It is almost similar to consciousness. It appears like consciousness. So the problem arises. But what is Brahmajnanam then? Brahmajnanam is also semblance of consciousness. Mithya pratyaya, wrong notion, is also semblance of consciousness. Wrong notion is I notion. Wrong notion is I notion. I notion is semblance of consciousness. But aham brahmasmi jnanam, that I am Brahman, that I am Sakshi, I am Atma, whatever you say, it's the same thing. I am not I notion, but I am Brahman. See, I am an individual is a I notion. I am Brahman is also a notion. Aham Brahmasmi is a notion. I am an individual is a notion. I am not an individual, but I am consciousness. I am Brahman is also a notion. Both the notions are semblances of Atma. Okay. I notion, you said I notion is beginningless. Okay. If I notion is beginningless, then what happens? It is a semblance of Atma, you told. Okay. If it is a semblance of Atma, a reflection of Atma, then what happens? It is a similar to, then how are you to distinguish between I notion, Adhyasa, Mithya Pratyaya, wrong notion, and also Samyajnanam, the Brahmajnanam? How do you distinguish? Because I notion is also semblance of Atma. Brahmajnanam is also semblance of Atma. There is a difference. But both are semblances of Atma. How do you distinguish? Then Mithya Jnanam becomes a Brahma Jnanam. Because both are Anadi. Both are Anadi. He says no. Samyak Jnanasyapi Pratyagabhasatvat Satya Mithya Jnanayor Aikya Prasangaha Iti Shankyam Pratyajnanodayat Prag Vastvanusaritvat Vastvastvaritva Tadabhavabhyam Tayos Vivechanatvat. You can distinguish it. This is a very good point Swamiji is raising. There is a way of distinguishing. Because both are semblance of Atma. Both are semblance of Atma, but there is a difference. The wrong notion, the name itself says wrong notion. We don't need big discussion. An intelligent man must have already understood. For those who have not understood, we explain, Swamiji is explaining, wrong notion is not true to Atma. Atma is one way, wrong notion presents the Atma differently. Wrong notion is a wrong notion. No doubt it is a semblance of Atma, it is a semblance of consciousness. It is almost like consciousness, but it is a thought. But this thought of Ajnana, thought of Adhyasa, presents Atma wrongly. Then how does the Brahmajnanam do? Brahmajnanam is also a notion. Brahmajnanam is also a notion. It is also semblance of consciousness, but it is true to Sakshi. This is the only difference. The Jnanam, Atma Jnanam, the right notion, the right knowledge, The right knowledge is true to Atma, wrong knowledge is not true to Atma. This is the only difference. Wrong knowledge and right knowledge. Wrong knowledge is Adhyasa, right knowledge is Brahmajnanam. Both are notions. Both are semblance of Atma. Both are only a shape of Atma, a form of Atma. Atma appearing in a form. Atma appearing in a form is called a notion, because a thought is not different from, like a wave is a shape, wave is an appearance of water. Wave is nothing but appearance of water. But that wave, that form, if the form is presenting true nature of Atma, it becomes a Samyajnanam. If form is presenting something different from Atma, it becomes a Mithya Like rope is perceived. The perception of rope is not true to the rope, that is a wrong perception. If that perception is true to the rope, it is a right perception. Both are perceptions. One is true to the rope, another is not true to the rope. It is distorting the perception. It is not true to the rope. Rope is one way, but the perception is different way. That's all. Similarly here, the I notion is a wrong perception of the Atma. That means wrong, not perception here, wrong, say, semblance of Atma. Perception you can't say, because there is no sense organs and mind is not involved. It is a wrong semblance. I notion is a wrong semblance of Atma. Brahmajnanam is a right semblance of Atma. Both are semblances. Samyajnanam, Brahmajnanam is semblance of Atma. Adhyasa is semblance of Atma. But Adhyasa misrepresents Atma. Samyajnanam presents Atma. Both are reflections. Both are reflections of Atma. Both are semblances of Atma. But one is a wrong semblance, another is a right semblance. This much difference you have to see. Okay. So here, nacha samyak jnanasyapi pratyagabhasatvat satyamithya jnanayor aikya prasangaha iti shankyam. You can't say that this right knowledge, wrong knowledge, both are becoming one. He says no. You can distinguish it. Before you gain jnanam, you can distinguish it. Because wrong knowledge is not true to Atma. Right knowledge means the notion of, notion means a thought of Brahman, the semblance of Brahman is true to Atma. But the Adhyasa is also a semblance of Atma, but it is a wrong semblance, misrepresenting semblance. Another is rightly representing semblance. Both are representations. Semblance means representations. Okay, let us say. Semblance means representation. Abhasa. Abhasa is representation. I myself forget the English word because we are more used to Sanskrit words. So, the word immediately doesn't occur. I don't know. These English words don't occur because we are not familiar. We don't use them often. So, Abhasa is very easily understandable. Abhasa, everybody knows in all Kannada, Telugu, everywhere it is there. So, representatives. Okay. Abhasa is a representative or semblance. So, this representative is a wrong representative, is Adhyasa, right representative, but both are representatives. Okay. So, but here is a difference. When there is an Adhyasa, you can see it is a wrong representation which needs to be corrected by right representation. A right reflection. A wrong reflection and a right reflection. Okay. A wrong reflection has to be. In the selfie mode, now you see this cell phone is in my front of me. Even this YouTube also. For this cell phone, in the selfie mode I am recording. I see my ulta. Here you see my right shoulder is open, left shoulder is covered. Here I am seeing the picture in the cell phone, this Facebook. I am seeing ulta. The left shoulder is open and the right shoulder is covered. But actually my right shoulder I have opened and left shoulder I have covered. But in Facebook, when I am uploading it, again reverses it. In the Facebook, this now my cell phone I am recording, and later I upload it to YouTube. Then again it reverses it and corrects it. Then comes back. The right shoulder is open, left shoulder is covered with this cloth. It comes back. Those who wear pant and shirts like that, you would not see. Whether in selfie mode or that mode, it is the same. Therefore, this selfie mode they have created, because selfie mode looks exactly like you. You don't see the difference. But for us, selfie mode you can instantly recognize, because we have different ways. I think the people who have designed selfie mode, they thought that selfie mode will show the exactly same picture. It doesn't. Selfie mode shows slightly disturbed picture. Left shows right, becomes right, right becomes left. So this selfie mode shows like that. Those who wear normal shirts like you people, you can't understand. But for us, this right shoulder is open, it becomes difficult. Anyway, so when I upload this, the FB, Facebook remains the same, I can't do anything. But this, which I'm recording now, when I upload it to YouTube, it reverses it. That becomes a samyak jnanam. Now when it is recording, it is a wrong, distorted picture. The same distorted picture, when I upload it, it takes again correct. It corrects it, rotates it and does normal. So both are pictures only. One picture is a disturbed picture, distorted picture. Another is a true picture. That's all. One is a distorted picture, but the true picture corrects the distortion. Okay, two are representative. Adhyasa is a representative, Brahmajnanam is a representative, but Brahmajnanam corrects this representation, corrects the misrepresentation. Two representative, one is the true representative, another is wrong representative. Okay, so this difference we can see while we are doing vichara. We have a wrong representation. Wrong representation has to be corrected by right representation. So this difference between right representation, wrong representation can be seen before when you have an adhyasa. When you have an adhyasa, you can see adhyasa is not representing, the I notion is not representing your true nature of Atma. Atma is infinite. I notion is limited. I notion is an individual notion. Okay. I notion is presenting individual notion, but Atma is infinite. Atma is timeless, but I notion looks to be related to time, as if he is existing in time and moving on in time. It looks that I notion is moving on in time. It looks like that. But Atma itself is timeless. I notion looks that it is located in time through the body. Through the body, I notion feels that I am located, I am within the world. I am located in the world. I am within the world is around me. You feel like that. But the Sakshi Sakshi is not located in space, located in time. Sakshi is infinite. Therefore, the I notion doesn't truly represent Atma, though it is about Atma, but misrepresentation of Atma. I notion is about Atma, no doubt about Atma, but it is a misrepresentation of Atma. We need a right representation of Atma. Okay, that is Jnanam. Therefore, while trying to correct, you are seeing the difference. This I notion is not presenting the Atma. Atma is infinite. I notion is finite. Atma is timeless. I notion looks moving in time. I notion looks located in space. Because the world is around me, I am located in one point. But Sakshi is not located in space. Sakshi is not within time. Sakshi is infinite. Therefore, I notion is about Atma, but misrepresenting Atma. It doesn't present the Atma as it is. Therefore, the Samyajnana. But once Samyajnanam takes place, once Adhyasa is corrected, I notion is corrected, you have representation of Atma as it is infinite. Then, once that representation takes place, Adhyasa goes away. Once Adhyasa is corrected, that Jnana Pratyaya also goes away. Once Adhyasa is corrected, just for a second, Jnana Pratyayam rises. Then instantly Jnana Pratyayam also goes away along with Adhyasa. See, that is the difference. Adhyasa gets corrected. Then along with Adhyasa, Jnana Pratyayam also goes away. Atma remains non-dual without any thought, without any representation. Atma remains Atma. Okay. This is what Swamiji is telling here. See, Mithya Jnano Samya Pratyak Jnanodayat Prag Vastuanuswaritadabhavabhyam Tayosu Vivechanatvat. Before Jnanam takes place, before wrong notion Adhyasa is corrected, you have to see the difference between wrong notion and right understanding. Wrong notion in the form of I notion and right understanding that I am Brahman. There is a distinction, because that notion is true to Atma or distorting Atma, misrepresenting Atma. This distinction can be seen before Jnanam. But once Jnanam takes place, you can't see the difference. Adhyasa goes away. Both are one. Now there is no Adhyasa. There is only right representation of Atma. There won't be, there are no two thoughts. Okay. Therefore, Pratyak Jnanodayat Prag. Okay. Jnanodayatcha Vurdvam Ubhayorapi Pratyang Matratva Rupena Aikyasya Ishtatvat. Once Adhyasa is corrected, once you get a right knowledge, then Adhyasa or right Jnanam, both are equally semblances, both are equally representations of Atma, both are equally Atma. You don't see the distinction. You see, both are one. Adhyasa is one and true knowledge is one. Adhyasa, true knowledge, both are one. Now there is no misunderstanding. I notion gets corrected. I notion doesn't exist. There is only Sakshi. And there is only true notion of Sakshi, true representation of Sakshi. Now there is only one Jnanam. You can't see the difference because Adhyasa won't be there. Okay, Ajnanam Taduttancha. So this what Shankaracharya told. Sureshwaracharya also says the same thing. Swamiji is quoting Sureshwaracharya shloka. Okay, Ajnanam cha taduttancha hatmaiva jnata tatvakaha tattvabodat tadbadaha sarparajvadi badhavat. Once they are corrected, there is no distinction between Adhyasa and Samyajnanam and wrong notion. Wrong notion and right knowledge, there won't be distinction, because once you know the truth, there is only one truth. Ajnanaditrayam pratyagabhasam yadyapishyate jnanavat jnanasambhuternaiva pragabhyupeyate iti cha tasmat adhyasasyapi sato anaditvam na virudyate. Therefore, I notion, though I notion is an Adhyasa, yet it is a beginningless, is no contradiction at all. Atma Adhyasa, it is Adhyasa and also beginningless. Okay. Now next, yat puna pratyaya vyapadeshatvam tasya tat pratiyate anena iti vyatpatya chaitanyana viddhatvena chidabhasatvam abhipretya natu antakarana vrittitvam vipretyatya virodaha. Another point he is telling. I think I can tell briefly, but for some people I need little explanation. We'll say this thing in the next class. Another point. You are calling it notion. But notion is only about a given object. Notion is a notion of a mind. Mind assumes various thoughts. Notion is one of the thoughts. Okay. The question you see. Notion is one of the many thoughts. But Atmajnanam or Adhyasa, is it one of the many thoughts? How can you say that? How can you say Mithya Pratyaya or Samyajnanam Samyak Pratyaya? This is the question. Okay, we shall answer it in the next class. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Tat Sat.